Hey, everybody, welcome to week 4. Okay, so this one is going to be jam packed with explaining and actually demonstrating how the courts deal with precedent and how what they decide in the past can definitely influence our future or impact it. Okay, so on today's agenda, we've got a really quick quiz for the rights of the accused, which a lot of them you kind of know, things like the Fifth Amendment and the Sixth Amendment, things like fair and speedy trials and protection against self-incrimination. And then we're going to get into something called stare decisis and SCOTUS, which SCOTUS stands for the Supreme Court of the United States. And so talking a little bit about how they use precedent. And then as a backdrop, we're going to use the Fourth Amendment, one that most people will have probably the most use for in their regular lives. Get pulled over by the cops, this is the one, okay? And so we're going to be looking at the evolution of the Fourth. While it was written back in the day, it's still being defined today. So that's the big plan. And this one is actually really good. I feel like a lot of people get a ton out of this one. All right. So this one's going to be a little bit different in the fact that there's going to be a note document that you guys need to take notes on periodically. Now, you'll see this symbol here, and that's intended to give you guys like a heads up that I need to put some stuff on my note file. And then let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So number 1, rights of the accused, okay? Take time out. Go take that quiz, all right? Again, if you miss more than a couple, please retake it again. You can take it as many times as you need to because I want you guys to get not only the best grade, but also learn a little bit from the test itself, okay? All right. And then once you guys get done with that, here's an overview of everything that's in that quiz, because there's a lot of stuff that's out there for the rights of the accused. Anything from the Fourth Amendment, which of course is, protection from search and seizure, which, by the way, them pulling you over has effectively stopped your movements anywhere else. So you have effectively been seized, okay? And then don't forget, if they ask to look at your car or to search your car, you have the ability to say no at that point. And that's the absolute last time, because the minute you let them start searching your car, it's not like a vampire and you can take that away from them. Once you give up that right to privacy, then they have invaded it and they will be in there. So you got to be really careful about allowing that to happen, no matter how innocent you feel like you are. Now, Amendment number 5 has tons of stuff in there, as you guys can see. So what I've done is I've underlined them and kind of color-coded them just to show you how they all bump out into such big, massive, all-impacting protections, like grand jury protection. For them to proceed with charges against you, and especially the big capital cases, those dealing with a first degree, second degree murder, they have to prove to the court itself, they being the prosecutor, that there's enough to hold you and to charge you with this. Now, if the grand jury sees that there's enough evidence for that procedure, then they will say, yes, there's enough for a trial, and then you move on to the trial itself. This is meant to protect you from malicious prosecution, meaning they look at you and say, oh my gosh, I hate that guy. I'm going to do whatever I can to get that person. And so that's really cool. A lot of people don't understand grand juries, okay? Of course, double jeopardy. Can't be tried twice for the exact same offense. So if you are exonerated of a crime, they can't be like coming after you, unless brand new evidence that changes everything, or there was an error or whatever. So there are a few exceptions to the rule, but they just can't maliciously come after you. Now, of course, fifth, everybody pleads the fifth. So anything you say can be held against you. So this tells you can shut up, okay? And then, of course, there's the idea here that you cannot be deprived of your life, liberty, or property. They can't take stuff from you without due process, without going through the steps of the criminal justice system, which you're definitely going to be looking at that in the next unit. And then, of course, the last part here is that your property can't be taken by the government for a non-criminal reason without payment or replacement. And so anybody that's been around long enough knows that 8th Avenue used to have a bunch of houses on it over there by the old Kingsville, where Kingsville